I can't stop this feeling coming on. Seismic kind of motion, too strong. AI is evolving, no brakes. Pendulum is shifting, make no mistake. Modern audience MIA, jiggle physics here to stay. Biometric integration, mesmerize a sleepy nation. Genius act right under your nose, flash floods keep you on your toes. Under the sea now you're a crustacean, return to edge, enough sanitation. Payment process, cartel pressure, gaming crackdown for good measure. Western slop defines stagnation, welcome waifu domination. Layoffs looming thanks to queer, more games cancelled, guilty gear. DEI designed to blame, normies can't stop killing games. Hello, beta testers. Like, comment, subscribe, join, even consider getting something off my wish list to keep this content flowing. Did you know that at a recent Coldplay concert, a guy was caught cheating on his wife on a Jumbotron? And as you can tell from the reaction as they begin to hide, Coldplay's Chris Martin on the microphone correctly deduces that either they're having an affair or they're shy. Not only is the guy a CEO, but the woman is his HR chief, who was appointed in November of last year. Amazing. And then the other girl with them is also part of it all, so you could see from her reaction too. The world is enjoying this idiot being caught in 4K, as they say. They react this way because they both know it was wrong, but they didn't care. But they'll care now. I bring you this story with purpose. Many of the entities forcing identity politics and silencing or worse, attacking people who disagree as apparent fascists and Nazis are not just a part of the problem in my gaming space, they're a part of the problem in the world. They know only destruction, sabotage, and being a parasite, which I take particular offense to as an artist. Did you know that Twitch apparently appointed some streamer named Extra Emily as CEO? Okay. And the people running that show are exactly as diverse as you might imagine. Sarcasm, of course. Mortal Kombat 1 had a trailer with a bald identity politics entity that they've cast for Intergalactic, my favorite upcoming slop by Neil Cuckman, that managed more dislikes than Concord. That really can't be understated. This Intergalactic slop managed more dislikes than Concord, which is not a small feat by any means, but it was fascinating to see Jade, a woman character in the Mortal Kombat game that you were gonna tone down by covering the women up more, also being bald, when they've never appeared this way to my knowledge, and it's not what comes up in any searches, so you can imagine that's not what's coming up when people visualize this character. But as I said on Twitter, thank God the staff glows green, because otherwise we'd need to be told who this is, and that's how you know you got a great iteration of a character, is when you have to tell people who it is, right? So no disrespect to Carl Urban, who's a very talented actor, who I also loved as Bones in the Star Trek movies, but y'all can enjoy your Airbender old man Johnny Cage movie, and I hope that it's as memorable as the new Superman is. My favorite part of that whole scenario with Intergalactic is that Naughty Dog dislikes trailer needed to have the comments locked, because a popular tactic for people forcing things that they know people won't like is just to silence any backlash that is in many cases expected. You knew that it was going to be something people didn't regard as palatable or something that they would like, but you went forward with it anyway. I guess that's what you're all about, man. And you see it coming because you know everything you do. Fuck me. Trans seething couldn't stop at death threats or harassment over the casting of a woman for the Zelda role. It needed to be a chorus of whining over their biological male dreamcast not getting chosen. What about me? So as they float those unpopular opinions into the incinerator, they too understand that they must lock the comments and hide the replies that clearly don't capture the right angles or portray their dream cast as feminine as they want, because without filters, airbrushing, or heavy photoshopping, it is clear to many that this man isn't as feminine as they hope to have them portrayed, because even they understand that they need to at the very least appear more feminine than they can manage without all of this help. It still needs to be communicated that attempts to hide things only signal boosts it, because the Streisand effect is just alien to you normies. But even dumber than that, you're failing to recognize this is an indication of a sore spot that you wish other people wouldn't focus on. The CEO with HR is so funny to me, because HR is typically a big part of why studios get as terrible as they do, and they're well aware that the prioritization of certain races or identities is wrong, and only the fear of losing their job or public shame would make them pretend to be sorry. But all the signaling in the world won't undo the years of what they've spent as proud, vocal activists, and now game studios pay a hefty price, while Western games lose hundreds of millions wasting people's time with forced masculine, bald-headed girl boss amputee diversity. Jiggle physics waifu games earn hundreds of millions monthly simply giving people what they want: normalcy. The DEI entity slowly being purged the same way they sought to purge gamers with tastes they view as heteronormative are going to be even more vocal and willing to throw their whole studio under the bus for personal gain as usual. And sometimes attention is enough. Validate me. But despite Xbox's assertion that gaming is for everybody, that clearly doesn't apply to curvy women. And by that, I mean biological women, women as defined by science, as in at birth, if healthy, they have the ability as the one of the two genders to carry a baby inside of them to term, the thing that women do when impregnated that makes their breasts engorged with milk as they lactate to nourish their offspring, like we men rise at the thought of a woman's body, a magical, fucking beautiful thing, changing to meet the occasion. The very curves God gave them are demonized by petty, insecure, wannabe women, so triggered that they're flattening and downgrading digital hoes. The polygons got you fucked up. No, yeah, I get it. If you're throwing a towel over a statue in a video game, of course you're upset that they cast a woman to play a woman character in a Zelda movie off of a video game. I guess Nintendo was more interested in money and pleasing majority than catering to a minority of radical serial harassers, as eager to diminish and dismiss whom they choose as opposing their cult, right? As you were to go crazy on a VTuber over Hogwarts Legacy. To be frank, the amount of seething that I'm seeing is endless, from you people desperate to wish death upon people and finding a new reason every day, because hopefully then they can feel the way that you do. How dare they disagree? You know what I'm saying? The sooner we stop catering to these nut jobs desperate to sabotage everything they touch, the better. So payment processors, including but not limited to Visa and MasterCard, are flexing their muscle and actually got Valve to cave and bend the knee under the pressure, removing a bunch of hentai games. That this is of course going to be the straw man for this argument. They're used to thinking that they can mess with the gamers, but I think Asians number far greater than they understand. I think the furries and the whales among us are much wealthier than they understand, and I wouldn't know anything about that since my community isn't showering me with gifts. My wish list, as I said in my stream last night, rest assured, just like Prohibition made crime more organized, I think the people screwing around right now are going to be learning a hard lesson. And it's hard not to say this next part without a smile, beta tester, because we have tried our best to reintegrate, to get back on that gaming horse, but the EOMM, the SBMM, and everything that we engage with is really just showing us how rigged all of this is. And clearly, attractive women in games, silly hentai slop, and women being cast to play roles for women. Oh my god, we better crack down on those video games, because that's apparently more of a threat than the protected holy PDF party. Beta testers, your job is to harbor the spirit of the indomitable gamer, to be creative to beat them at the game they weren't aware had accelerated to the next stage. These shills are going to gaslight and imply it's just a Coomer game crackdown. Oh, you want your incest game? Steam may have even dumber ideas than funding class shooter clones with woke money, but you're gonna see there's nothing more offensive in the world than a drawing of a female breast. If you thought censorship was bad before, recognize how much safer games would be forced to be, not risking wasting money, and honestly just escaping everything that made something amazing. Couldn't be no Grand Theft Autos or Mortal Kombat's made today. That's way too risky. And if these psycho feminist activists have their way, Valve will bow and kind of incite more of them to pursue this avenue of grifting using the "what about the children" and "oh my god, this harms women" kind of France rhetoric that we saw out of pussies like IGN France over Stellar Blade. You think you've heard of a culture war before? If the horny for war against anime bodies in politics hope to make everything compliant as they kind of force this ESG propaganda into everything with the international power to decide what is and isn't okay, I recognize this as a slippery slope and a place and reason for concern. So of course, to the enlightened, you already know what's coming. This is not about left or right or woke or anti-woke. We're actually going to see how things can get gayer than Concord. Take it from somebody who remembers when games like DOA could release everywhere. That's not the case now. And boy, fund me more than the politicians are gonna fund them, because last time I saw a crackdown this petty, a Halo game came out soon after. I love you all. Add me in Marvel Rivals and gift me all of those skins. Kyle out, right? Love the closet. Biometric integration mesmerize a sleepy nation. Layoffs looming thanks to queer. More games canceled, guilty gear. DEI designed to blame. Normies can't stop killing games. Layoffs looming thanks to queer. More games canceled, guilty gear. DEI designed to blame. Normies can't stop killing games.